Yes, greetings and welcome again, excellent. iStory. So, like I said in my last episode, um, I went on to do my fourth album, which was entitled Tornado, and it's an album which was again self-produced, self-composed, self-arranged, and this album was done between Switzerland and Jamaica. The groundworks were done at Shanti Studios in Switzerland, in a place called Interlaken. And the continuation of the album took place in Jamaica at Grove Recording Studio and if I remember well, Byron Lee's studio, Dynamic Sounds. Mixed and completed that album in Jamaica, on which I had some old school friends playing on some of the tracks, Richie Barr and Ruption from Third World. He's playing with Third World today. Back then, I remember exactly who he was playing with. And I think he was playing with Jimmy Cliff. Yeah. And also percussion and backing vocal works was done also by the then percussionist with Jimmy Cliff and Richie Barr also. That I came back to Europe, back to Switzerland, and printed the album, started some promotion, started doing promotional shows, and then started doing some touring works. And right after that album, I saw it kind of fit in a way to maybe build my own recording studio. So I then, together with my spouse, we came up with a plan and bought some equipment, and BMP Production Recording Studio was born in Switzerland. The first reggae recording studio in Switzerland, by a Jamaican. And that is history. Tornado did well, then went on to do my fifth album, which was entitled Solid. And I actually worked on this album by myself. That is, I played all the instruments, did all the programming, did all the vocal works, and except for, I think, 2 songs or so, there are some invited guests who perform some backing vocals. I think Sabina Stokes and I don't remember exactly who else now, but yeah. This album came out, had very mixed reviews. Some of them was not very nice, put it that way, especially from my competitors back in Switzerland back in the days. Solid was a very um, experimental and futuristic album. Just a lot of programming and a lot of electronic and stuff, and mixed with analog playing and them kind of thing there. So it was experimental. Most people didn't understand it, but I think a lot of the sounds we hear today kind of reflect my vision of where the sound was going already back then in 90, I think 92 or 93. Went on the road with Solid and did some good works. Also, Solid was the first album done in BMP Studios. Then went on to do an album after that called Roots, which was now basically totally, roots orientated, one drop and, totally conscious lyrics, them kind of thing there. This album took on very well, like in Italy, and brought on a lot of shows, especially like in Italy. I think managed to do just about every city in Italy based on that album called Roots, and had really some great reviews, beating the Reggae Report back then, and the Rasta Snob magazine, reggae magazine out of Italy, and it's another magazine from London, from UK. I don't remember the name. So some raving reviews, great reviews there and thing. So that was the album Roots, and after that I went on to do the album which was called BMP Attack, which was a compilation of myself and a couple of other artists. Was a guy named Mad Fox, Yavanita, and Roy Richards from Jamaica. It's featured also Kingston Club, which a project which was done in Italy, where I was the lead vocalist, and a couple other DJs like Culture Brown and stuff. So that was BMP Attack. After BMP Attack, went on to do the album called Candela. Now this album was also written and arranged by me, recorded between Switzerland and Jamaica. The works in Jamaica, or the Jamaican part of the album, was worked on between myself and Earl China Smith from I Times back in the days. People who know Earl China Smith know who it is. I don't have to really make great reference. His name speaks for itself. We came up with a magnificent Roots album, and very futuristic to the day. The sound is still totally relevant every time I listen back to it. This album was mixed in New York at HCNF Studio by myself and Philip Smart. And this album went on to break a lot of barriers for me, as far as production and sound is concerned. After this album, I was at a point where I didn't really know. I had like a blockage, like a blackout, So that was in 1994. So I always had in the back of my head to move to Africa. So after releasing that album and doing some shows and some touring works with the then Paul Positive Band, I had some discussion with some African brethren, and they told me that man, come to Africa, man. So there's a guy by the name of Billy Gite, who is an artist, a painter. He was always, coming to my shows and hanging around. And, he told me a lot about Senegal. And he was saying, like, man, if you come to Africa, come to Senegal first. So, because, Senegal is the door to Africa. I never thought about it like that at that point because, as Jamaican, we only know about Ethiopia and maybe Kenya and Nigeria and Ghana. We don't really think much about, the rest of Africa. That, this continent is a massive place. So in the winter of 1994, I traveled to Dakar in Senegal. And got picked up at the airport and was taken out there on the land, my first visit to the continent of Africa. And when I woke up the next morning, I was just surrounded by nature and the ocean. And I ended up spending about 2 months over there in a place called Malika. And that was my return to the motherland, or the beginning, or call it the beginning of, or the debut of my repatriation to the continent of Africa, where I've been living, since around about 1996. I came here, spent a couple of months, went back to Europe, then went on a couple other stints, went to Malawi and South Africa with Junior Delgado and Icula and the likes. And did some more touring works, and then finally just decided that, I just wanted to come this side. And I came back to Senegal, bought myself a plot of land, and built myself a little house. And the rest of the I story continued from there here on the continent of Africa, from where I'm speaking to you right now. So when we continue from here, you will hear and see what things have been like the last, say, 24 years of me being here on the African continent, and the things that I've done. So it's a one love, and look forward to sharing the I story as the saga continue. God bless.